I think that probably what will happen is be a couple of things. One, we have no idea what kind of data that these people are drawing on to make those forecasts, because the biggest population collapse I can think of in history happened with the fall of the Western Roman Empire. I mean, the population collapsed. Now, there's a reason why Belisarius, when he tried to liberate Rome, he only had an army of 5,000 men. It's because that's all he could get. I mean, they just simply were not people.
Mhm.
And so, I mean,
Well, there had been a bunch of plagues
yeah, but
at that time,
well, the plague of Justinian came after that. So, I
right?
mean,
That's right.
like
But
a
there had
triple
been
whammy.
some before as well.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And so that's my point, though, right? Is that you have the social order that collapses.
People lived in squalor. It's not
Yeah,
surprising. Yeah.
yeah, no, I completely agree. And so that's my question, right? Is let's just assume that we do have a financial collapse. I think we're heading to one, and you have
Oh, we
a
have to be
hundred.
because we live under capitalism.
Yeah, of course.
Financial collapses are inherent to capitalism and the
Well,
boom
this
bust cycle.
well, the Soviet Union had one too, so it's not a uniquely capitalist problem. Communists have it too. But I mean, the point I'm trying to make though is that if you import 100 million people and there's all of a sudden nothing for them to do, resources are scarce, what do people tend to start doing? They go tribal and they start going medieval on each other. So that probably plays into some of it too. Um, but as far as from a global standpoint, again, I'm just trying to get into this
Don't
guy's
forget
headspace.
the other big population collapse of which you and I have talked about before. You've mentioned it. Of course, the bubonic plague,
Oh yeah, for sure.
which was came in a number of waves. I'm not sure everyone's aware of that.
I mean, no one really. Well, the thing is, people always focus on what it did in Europe. I mean, it devastated Asia and Africa. I mean, it wiped. I mean, it
And
was
people might not
brutal
care,
everywhere.
right? But I mean, seriously, the Silk Road of Central Asia and the Middle East, that was really the center of the world
Yeah,
during the Middle Ages. I mean, the Middle Ages, Europe was a backwater, and it was the all learning and major politics and major economic and military expansion was really happening in places like what is today modern day Uzbekistan.
yeah, yeah. That in Iran, Baghdad was like the literary capital, and then the Mongols turned it into a giant pile of rubble because who needs to read if you have horse archers, right? It's just not important.
Right.
But I mean, but that's the point that I have though, is that if this does happen, if the U.S. economy does implode, if there's a scarcity of resources, then what
Well,
happens
here
if
we're
the United
talking about
States?
a global issue, though,
Oh,
Bob.
for sure.
So
Well, that's the point. Well, that's the point that I'm making, right? So let's just. I mean, the United States is one of the leading food
assuming the
exporters
U.S.
on the
even
planet.
survives,
Yeah. Well, let's just say it doesn't.
right?
Uh, the United States export is the leading exporter of food on the planet. If those exports no longer happen, what happened to all those places in Southern Africa that are now overpopulated with no food? What do
Well,
those
but
people
they're
do?
going to be. I mean, the population collapse will help to address that problem.
I agree, and I'm wondering if the author of this paper, if that's what they're looking at. What are these scenarios? What triggers it? Because it's nice to have a graph. Because now, admittedly, I didn't do a deep study on it. Just didn't have time before we
Right.
went live here. But so for what I skimmed and what I read, he wasn't really putting a lot of causation into his forecast. He was just forecasting numbers. And so what I'm doing, using my busy brain, how does he get there? And so either A, you have war, or you have economic collapse and war, or you have just a total global societal collapse, like what happened when Rome fell or the Black Death happened. Then that's how you get there.